Hey, good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk. And tonight, is celebration of our Women's Month. Thank you, there, Drea. Celebration of our Women's Month. We have the dynamic duo of Miss Drea, the poet, and Ebb and Flo. A lot of names there. What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
Yeah, I'm getting one of y'all can leave y'all microphone on and one can leave it off. Maybe I'll get both of y'all to be able to hear because I got an echo. Uh, let's say Drea, you unmute your microphone.
can you hear me?
Yeah, and I can hear an echo too.
No.
The reason why I can hear the echo is because of Ebony's microphone is picking up our voice twice, and it's coming through. So for the sake of us trying to have this interview slash, I wanted to really talk to you guys about something. Where y'all coming from, by the way? Let's talk about that first and foremost. Unmute your mic.
Andrea's computer. Okay, so we're coming from doing our promo for our TV show. We actually have a TV show that will be premiering in about 2 weeks, and it's called Poetic Cadence. So today we went to do our promo pictures, our little shots, not little shots, our big shots, right, for our upcoming show, Poetic Cadence. So we're really excited about that.
I know the echo is gonna kill us all night. One thing about and for the people that don't watch poetry, I do a show with these two young ladies. I'm the producer, and these two young ladies are the hosts every Thursday. So the people that don't watch the poetry shows would not know who these two young ladies are. So I know it's probably killing them that we have an echo. So yeah, you could do it like that, Dre, so I can see both of y'all. There we go. There we go. And one of y'all could, and Ebony, you could log off, and I can see both of y'all through Drea's phone. That'd be great. There we go. Unmute your microphone now. Here we go. Did y'all hear me good?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Both of y'all in here together. So we could take it all the way back because y'all done did shows. We done did shows together. But let's start from who are you? Let's start with Ebb and Flo first. Who are you? Not what you do, but who are you?
I am an evolving soul, living in my passion, bringing poetry to the universe. I'm an artist, I'm a poet, I'm an author, I'm a mother, um, and I'm not defined by any titles. So I like to just call myself an evolving soul, just here to do my work, bring forth love and light into the universe, and manifest all of my dreams and do what God has placed me here to do. Follow my passions and use my God-given talents. So that's who I am, and that's what I'm here to do.
Would you describe yourself as, let's I'm gonna name some characteristics.
Okay.
Pessimistic or optimistic?
Optimistic, definitely.
Do you find yourself being overly optimistic?
Yes.
Do you find yourself being around people that's pessimistic and it just like gets up under your skin? And
Very,
They're like Debbie Downers.
very much so. Like I had to really cut a lot of people out of my circle. Like it's like a dot, right? You see, it's Drea and I and a couple other poets, and then yeah, like because when you're optimistic, you have to be around optimistic people, optimism, positive people, people who can see beyond their wildest dream, people who dream so big that they get scared, right? I don't need people saying like that's not possible. And so it's really difficult to be around pessimistic people because they can't see what I can see. It's like I'm seeing into the metaverse or 5D and they're just still in like 3D, right? And so it doesn't work for me.
So let me ask you, with that optimism and what you guys did tonight, have you had the moment to be like, oh, it's happening, or the doors is opening? Had you had that moment, or you just living it?
I'm living it, and then I've like had that moment for a quick second, and then it's time to do something else, right? So today when we both were getting like, prepared for the show, and I was sitting there and I was thinking like, wow, I'm getting my makeup and hair and all of this done for a TV show that is our TV show. And I was like, OMG. And then when it was happening, we were like in the moment. And when we left there, we just had dinner to like celebrate. And so we're toasting. And then we're like, wow, we're toasting to Poetic Cadence. So I'm living in the moment and I'm still like not realizing that it's really happening. Like all of the prayers and the dreams are coming true right before our eyes. Like we're literally manifesting everything that we speak on, like in an instant. It manifests. Like everything that we have spoken about in the last probably 4 or 5 months has manifested in a really, really rapid amount of time, to the point where it blows our minds constantly, and it helps us to remain humble because we know like this is really happening. And so we just want to stay grounded and want to stay connected and want to stay living in the positive. So yeah, it's happening, but I haven't really realized it to the full extent yet.
Drea.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. You got in the camera view very quickly there. You wasn't playing. So we talk about the optimism and pessimistic. What would be your character?
I'm optimistic, of course.
So, but you're not as outgoing as Ebony would appear to be. So, how does your optimism? You're not as outgoing as she will be. You may think something, she's gonna just say it. How does that beautiful y'all mesh together perfectly?
We complement each other, right? So a lot of times if she's thinking something and I just say, hey, I was thinking at the same time, or I could be calling her and she was calling me and we get a busy signal, right? So I think we're just on the same wavelength and it's our time together. So it's no jealousy, no envy. We both want to see each other win. So anything I have, Ebony got to come. Anything she do, Andrea got to come. So we support each other in everything, in our conversations, our personal lives, our professional lives, and different things like that. So it's a different type of. It's like a sisterhood more than a friendship, right? And I don't give that title to a lot of people because it's important. Saying someone is your friend is something really dear, to my heart. And I'm gonna do everything I can to support my friend and make sure if my friend is feeling heavy or in a slump, I'm helping to pull them out however way I can. I'm showing up, I'm knocking on doors. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna allow you to sit in your stuff. We're gonna work through this together. Right. And I think a lot of people need that. So I try to be the shine, for my friends and my family and things like that. So I think that's very important.
So let me ask you, for my audience with Let's Talk, you are a chef, and with being a chef, the plate is your canvas. You like to create. You like to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and behind the scenes is your preference because you like to create and watch your creation instead of performing your creation sometimes. How was tonight for you with getting ready and like, oh, I gotta perform for something that we're trying to create, but I'm going to be in part of the creation?
Well, because we were doing it together, I didn't have time to sit in like fear. I'm not really fearful of anything. So we create opportunities for ourselves and for each other, right? So we show up. We call each other, we talk about it, we meet up, we do the whole process together. So it's no me, or I anywhere. It's a team effort, right? And so when she was, doing her part, she was talking, we was talking together. It was so much fun. We were just laughing the whole time, just having a good time. So we didn't have time to be nervous or be afraid. We were just enjoying the moment, just to share our platform with different people, right? Because poetry is something very important to both of us. And our thing was a community. We're bringing them community, poetry, and conversation, right? And I think that's important to have about our experience. And we could do this from, nothing. We created all of this space for ourselves. And we were introduced to you. You're a great person to allow us to be on your platform and things like that and have a show. And we, build a relationship, with you and talk about different things. So that's something very important, that you can have these great relationships with people to build on the thing that you really enjoy doing, which is poetry. Even though you're not a poet, right?
Y'all kind of having y'all juicy moment like with Biggie. Where Biggie said you couldn't believe that hip hop could take you this far. Now you couldn't believe that poetry could take you this far. Like, and we always chop it up, and always try to create things together and always do this brainstorm. A poetry TV show. Do you guys realize how unique that is?
Yeah, we're going to be featured too on another poetry TV show on the same network. So it's called Slangwich. It's going to be March 24th of this month, and I'm cooking tacos, so I'm going to be chefing it up and poetrying up. Right? So it's just like a really great experience. So you show up for people, right? And you make your presence seen, even if it's quiet. They know you there and they see you, and you bring them good food and good company. You can't do nothing but win.
So let me ask you guys, because of you guys' weekly show, and because of this, have you got to the point like, yo, I need to write some new material?
Yeah, we have some new material for you on next show. So we got a couple of good, new.
I mean, how is that? I know, Drea, you know, I read your book. That was a little erotic poetry, as they would say, or we would say sensual, or as I like to say, that was for the mature crowd.
Yeah.
With the book, with every day being a mother, working, finding or defining your purpose. How do you guys feel about women empowerment today?
Today is different, right? Because, well, for me, I have no fear. I have no room to like sugarcoat anything. And what Ebony was saying, we have to live in our truth, right? So we can't like dumb ourselves down anymore or not speak up for what we believe in. So if anything happened, you got to communicate that right away, how you feel. So in that moment, I think it's important to talk about having a sisterhood, being truthful with one another, being honest, even if it's gonna hurt. So Ebony thinks she gonna hurt my feelings. I'm like, I'm a grown woman. If you feel some type of way, let's discuss it. Let's put it on the table. And I'm like, girl, you tripping? I don't feel like that. That's your old friends. It's not me.
Right.
I understand you, and I've been there before. So we share a lot of similar situations, right? And I cannot tell her how to feel, right? And I try to listen to understand and not respond. So if she needs a response from me and she asks me for a response, I'm going to give her one out of love, right? I'm not going to judge. I don't judge people. I don't like being judged. So I'm not going to do that to her or any of my friends. I don't judge my children. I don't judge anybody. We are put in certain situations either to make us stronger or just become weak and fall short, of what we do. And it's sad that some people feel like they are in competition with you, but I've never had that in my circle. Never, Ebony. It's always been love from the beginning, before we even saw each other face, because we met in school, community literature initiative. It was online, right? And it was screens, dark screens. You didn't see faces, but I know that voice. right? And her poems always hit, and it was always powerful. And I was always clapping it up for her, before you even had that in-person introduction. So it's always been nothing but love.
Ebony, let me ask you a question directly. I know you be like you want to know the questions beforehand.
I'm
But
okay when I know it
let
about.
me ask you, because of what we do together, we basically prepared for Women's Month. But have you had a moment to understand or celebrate the five most important women in your life?
You know what? I haven't had a chance to celebrate those women in this month. But what I try to do is celebrate the people, the important women in my life on a daily as much as I can. Sometimes, it'll just be a candle or a rose or a flower or a text to say, I love you and I appreciate you. And I always want them to know how much they mean to me on an everyday basis. Like sometimes I'll send Drea a random text and just tell her how much I love her and how much she means to me.
And she gave me a never-ending rose. It's
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
live forever
A forever
inside a
rose.
glass heart.
Yeah. So I make sure I let her know how much she means to me and vice versa. Because I really feel like I found my people, right? And so that right there is just a come to Jesus moment, right? When you literally find your people or they find you. But if I would have never stepped out on my passions and my faith and went to seek poetry, and I would have never found her and she would have never found me. And so, like she said, my screen would be black most of the time, and like after class she would be like, I wish you would have put your screen on, I wanted to see you, seeing your poetry. And I was like, I just loved her from the moment that we had class. It was like our souls connected without seeing each other or touching each other physically. The same interaction that we created over that, Zoom meetings in class were the same interactions that we had at graduation and when we came into the physical with each other. Like at graduation, like she was sitting in the front and she had her camera up and she was recording me. As soon as I stepped off stage, she gave me this biggest hug ever. Like that was the moment for me. And so I'm forever grateful for the women in my life. For my mother, I sent her flowers for Valentine's Day. My favorite girl of all, she's in heaven, so she's with me always. So I make sure that I say, hey, mama, look what we did. Mama, I made it, type of moment. Because for
Well,
us, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put you on blast.
Go ahead.
I know that Tupac is one of your favorite poets,
Definitely.
and I know that you have a poem that you named Afeni, but you never recited this poet. Do you remember it offhand?
I don't know it by heart, but I have it in my phone right now.
Okay,
So we can
I
get
want to hear Afeni. And this
okay.
this this was literally dedicated to his mother.
Yes, this is dedicated to Tupac's mother because we tend to forget that there would be no Tupac if it wasn't for Afeni, right? And she gave him death, and she gave him that struggle and that rose from concrete mentality to never give up and to always fight for yourself and to all those things that he embodied. Afeni gave those to him, and so mothers are important. And so yeah, it was important for me to write about the woman who brought him into being, because she's just as important as he is to me. So I'm gonna find a Afeni for you right this moment, and we're gonna get to it. You want to ask Drea a quick question while I look for it?
Yeah, it's gonna take her a while to answer too.
Why?
We know that poetry transcends cultures, transcends races, transcends gender. A lot. You got Eastern poetry, Western poetry. You may have like Persian poetry. All this poetry. Describe to me, who's not a poet, why poetry is so important.
Poetry is important because for me, it helped me relieve a lot of trauma, stress, and things like that. So it's therapy for me. And I believe that it's therapy for a lot of people. So you go into this room, like you said, and it's all these different races of people. and you see no color. You just hear the words, you see the words that they speak. And you realize you have something in common with a lot of these people as soon as they start reciting their poetry. Oh, that's familiar. Oh, yes, I live this. I have this experience. Oh, yes, I feel like that when I'm here. So it's something very beautiful to share this platform with everyone, and it's no color lines. So I think that's the most important thing about
So
poetry.
it's so important because it is one of those things we would say like music, but see, even with music, it's a genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's a genre that particularly sometimes you may, for example, rock and roll or rock music, we know that in America, African Americans started rock music, but not too many African Americans now today are into rock music.
Yeah.
But with poetry, you know, okay, if you find out it's a poetry and it's an open mic, basically, as a poet, you feel as though you can go anywhere on the world and be able to go in there and be able to recite your poetry and feel welcome.
Yeah. Do you know you could write a book of poetry and get it published in different languages, and it might sell overseas in a totally different language and they love it? So it's a
Mm.
lot of, you can go a long way with poetry. Is we have people that, have alumni of CLI that's going to London, France, Mexico, different places, just traveling with their poetry and, making a living off of it. So it's something that you could really do. And now they have like a award for it, different things like that. I met the poet laureate of Los Angeles yesterday. Beautiful. And she said she's going to be on our show. So I'm going to hold her to that. I met the poet laureate of Pomona, and I sent him an invite. He said he would love to be on the show. So just making these connections with these people. Well, how did you get here? How did you start? How do you become a poet laureate? What do you need to do? So just find it. Not that I don't want to be a poet laureate, but people like, I feel like Ebony will be a great candidate for that. And how you create that in your, where you live, in your city, in your neighborhood, and things like that. So I think that's something beautiful.
Yeah. Ebony, you got our poem of Feeney for us?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
All right. So this one is called Afeni. Afeni, Tupac's mother, a Black Panther, a poet. But we shall call you Afeni today, and thanks I give unto you for paving the way. Imagine a day of darkness it would be if the Most High God hadn't gifted you unto we. There would be no wick for unbreastfed babies, no fight for the defeated, no face for the faceless. And while you faced death, a son on the way, and you locked in a cage, soon to be birthing a hellraiser, major, a hidden treasure, forming inside the womb of a forbidden warrior. At once proven innocent, free to birth our Black Jesus, and you have named him Tupac Amaru Shakur, a savior for every hood and every block, locked away in the ghetto, littered in the streets that have no peace and seek no refuge. A cold wind did blow, a gentle giant you did grow. Curse the faint of heart, like bombs to churches left burning with politics, like co-intel pro conspiring, a traitor amongst the invading the we in search of greed for the eyes defied. And when you are above the sky, who can take a shot at you? A Glock aimed at your name, yet you remained steadfast and did blast back with Tupac, busting shots aimed at lames that despised your righteous name. Who can seek peace when we ride on our enemies? A new battle begun when you birth your only begotten son, a treasure at once. And this is the reason I rewrite you into history. A gem of knowledge, a key out of poverty. You will always be a fixture for me, a compass to guide we from the misery that may find thee, lingering in these ghetto streets of unhidden truths, that mothers too are martyrs in ghettos, gods in high places, replacing father figures that have gone missing, raising sons from boys to men, celebrating within, escaping riots in the streets, birthing history. And we shall call you Queen Afeni forever, a treasure of resilience, a voice of reason, a tree never out of season emerging. And even after you are buried, your name will forever ring bells from jails of hells to ghetto heavens in the sky, or until we find peace where there is genocide. We will say your name and power will appear, fist in the air to let the world know that Afeni was here. Afeni was here. Afeni was here.
Bars, drop the mic.
Wow. 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 That with reciting that poem and listening to your voice, it reminded me of our champion Nina Simone when she was explaining blackness
Yes.
and being black and understanding that black, as she would say, is beautiful. And
Mhm.
you know, it's more than just what we would say is a color. It's an essence. It's in the DNA. It's in your uh, genealogy code.
Yes.
It's something that can't really be described unless you're black.
Yes.
So what's up for the rest of the night? You guys are going to celebrate, and you know
Well,
what's
we
what's
celebrated and now we're coming down off our high, right? We have this natural high, and we've reached the peak for the day, and we were waiting to speak with you. We were just so happy. So now we're going to go home and excuse me, Drea and I, we don't know how to quit. So we're gonna go home. She gonna get there. We probably get on the phone and start writing down our shows, brainstorming our ideas, because we like to get it done, right? So that we have time to reflect and change things if we need to. So our work isn't done for the evening. We'll probably tap out about 11 tonight, but we're definitely so full of all the accomplishments and the things that we have manifested and the blessings that are raining down on us. We're literally living in the overflow of our wildest dreams right now. So we're gonna continue the evening with a nightcap of alkaline water, and then we're gonna brainstorm a little bit more. Yes, and write down our shows and prepare, for the
um
upcoming week.
with that,
But
and you know,
we have to
Dre,
take a picture. So we're gonna go to Barnes and Nobles and we're gonna take some pictures and send it to the guy for our promo.
now back to our program because Dre just interrupted, but
Sorry.
anyway, you guys, honestly, it's been a pleasure working with you guys.
Likewise.
Um, you know, the world is your oyster. You gotta create the life that you want to live, regardless of any circumstance that any of us could be in. You know, a lot of us tend to complain and be upset with our 9 to 5 job, but at the end of the day, what are we doing about it? We staying there 25, 30 years and being miserable, or are
Right.
we trying to create something that we really love, and to be able to love and do what you love and to get paid for it? It is an accomplishment, and it is something to be striving for, and I really appreciate you guys coming on, and I know that I'll probably be in a group text tonight or tomorrow with you
Mhm.
guys. And one thing about when you reach a goal is sometimes you'll get caught up in the goal
Mhm.
and not appreciate the journey.
Yes.
And I want you guys to know I really appreciate you guys, everything that you do for me and with the show, and just trying to have that network, have just establish a safe place for poets. You know,
Mhm.
Ebony, I use your phrase a lot when I talk to other people. Being able to be a voice of the voiceless, because everybody can't articulate or want to articulate what they got going on,
Right.
good and bad. And as poets, and me having that direct link to a lot of poets. It's always good to hear not always struggle but triumph,
Yes.
because everything is not always gloomy. Sometimes we need to take the victory lap. Sometimes you need to pat yourself on the back instead of others acknowledging your greatness. Like, yo, I really accomplished something. I did something. I reached a small goal. So I'm really happy for you guys for the night. And I know that this is something that you guys really, really wanted. And,
Yes. Thank
sky's the
you.
limit. Don't,
Yes.
one thing that I always talk about, and I really have to mention it, is that you look at any of these celebrities like that we deem to be successful. They never allow people to put them in a box.
Mm-hmm. Very much
They can
so.
do a whole bunch of things, and you never know what you can accomplish. And to be coming from, as we would say, the girl just writing her poetry down, writing
Mm-hmm.
her issues down, or just being upset, and just to take that and then put it in the widescreen.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are not only paving the way for yourselves, but you're paving the way for future generations. Like, whoever
Definitely.
thought that it would be poetry virtually because of the pandemic,
Right.
and then poetry, a TV show about poetry
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
outside of what Deaf Poets gave us. Deaf Poets
Yes.
gave
Mm-hmm.
us some great poets, but it's amazing. So I wish
Mm-hmm.
you guys all the best,
Definitely did. Yeah.
and I appreciate you
Thank you
guys
so
joining me
much,
tonight.
Q.
And don't party too hard.
Definitely.
Any final
No, we're
words?
gonna go home and start.
All right,
The
don't.
final words that I would like to say is believe in your dreams. Never stop at no, always restart at go. And like we mentioned before, life is about the journey, not the destination. There will be so many different destinations that you will reach if you just focus on your journey and understand that on your way up, that take some people with you who deserve to go, right? Help some other people's dreams come true. Help people believe in humanity to know that anything that a man thinketh, he can actually manifest and put into the universe, and that the sky's the limit, right? And
Right.
so we're very grateful for the time, the energy, the platform, and Drea, we made it.
Yes. And I do want to send a special shout out to you, Q.
Yes.
We really appreciate you and just for sticking with us and being there all the time and being on top of things and making sure we we on time and putting in the work and adding other people, because we have brought so many people on and you just don't know like the things that you do. My friend Lynn was so excited that you want to showcase her on the show, just the little things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're really grateful for you, and you deserve flowers too.
Definitely.
So, and I wish I could mail you some food.
We've been thinking about how to get you some food, Q.
Yes.
Like literally want to send you like a I love you, thank you packet. So
Yes.
we're
And I
grateful.
always greet people and say, like, at the end of my text, I hope your today was so much better than yesterday, right? Just improving on yourself. And I'm always trying to encourage people and shout people out and have them shine and just bring them along if, they're supposed to come along with us. But just having that discernment, you have to have that too, right? And so you are people, Q. So we keeping you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Don't hang up. You guys have a great night.
You too.
Thanks.